ahead.
That's almost like vacation, right? Exams.
Okay, welcome everybody to our June 10th meeting. Appreciate it. Let's do roll call. And I'll start on my left here.
Hi, I'm Rich French.
Maureen Piccioni.
Bill Carey.
Pete Sampu.
Nina Coleman, Park Manager.
Donna Bragg.
And Tom O'Neill. Thanks, everybody. So we'll just do the minutes quick, and then we'll do the, anybody have any questions or concerns or changes to the May minutes?
I'll move that we accept them as printed.
Okay, can I get a second?
Second.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Okay, motion carries. Thank you. All right, so as we've said in the past, these projects done by the Boy Scouts or any organization that can help us are really valuable to us, and also have such a combination of benefits, not only for Sandy Neck, but also for the individuals that do the projects. Hopefully, they get something out of it and improve their leadership skills and presentation skills. So we love these projects, and we really appreciate the Scouts taking these projects on. So we're going to have Greyson do his presentation on the project, and make sure we all ask him very difficult questions about the project, but we'll let them take it from here. Okay, thanks, Greyson. Thanks.
I'll just do a quick intro for him.
Okay, do it on. I think you have to do it on the mic. Yeah.
Sounds good. Is he going to have to be down here too? So.
If he's going
When
to
he
talk.
presents.
Yeah.
Okay.
Probably you will. Yeah. Sorry.
All right. Very good. So good evening. My name's Jerry Hickey. So I'm the Scoutmaster of Troop 54, the Scout Troop in Centerville. I know we've had several boys that have come through and done projects. I think 4 or 5 I can think of at least in the last 2 years. My son Carter did one about 2.5 years ago. So Greyson decided he wanted to kind of do the same thing and basically support Sandy Neck, which is also my family's favorite beach. So figured I'd throw that in there. But with that, so I'm going to hand it over to Greyson and let him present what he's going to be proposing to build. So with that,
Thank you.
without further ado, over to you. Oh, do we need to pull it up?
Yeah, he's got the clicker. So he's going to pull it up for you. There you go.
So I'm doing my project about informational kiosks for Sandy Neck. So starting off, they'll just let you guys get your information out. It'll all be combined into one spot. You won't have to spread everything around the Sandy Neck. Depending on what information you put out there, it could keep visitors safe, the wildlife safe, dunes. It could keep a lot of things safe out on the Sandy Neck. It also lets them learn more about Sandy Neck, so they don't have to visit the website or learn more from the signs. And yeah, that's about what my project is. Anything? Any questions? No. So stakeholders. So we have the Sandy Neck beneficiary, the board, which I think it's you guys. Yep. We have me, myself, my project coach, the Troop 54 committee, which I did a mock presentation the other day, and Scout Council, which I'll do at the end. So phases. So the first part I've already gone through is kind of the rough planning, figuring out what I'm doing, figuring out somewhat rough sizes, doing the presentations of the boards, which I'm doing right now. I'm gonna refine my planning after I get information from you guys. I want to make sure it's all up to par, make sure it's what you guys want, and yeah. Then I'll submit for approval. I'll figure out what dates I want, what workers I'm getting to help. Then I'll get the lumber delivered for the what I'm doing. I'll cut it, install it, and then I'll finalize. So these are some examples I have. I think what I've heard is I'm going to be doing the classic, but probably a bit of a bigger size what I've heard from Hannah is that she doesn't really want the mini or the smaller, like, little flat board. So these are some requests that Sednek has given me. So they kind of want to look kind of like that kiosk over there. Probably make it a bit bigger. They wanted to add a map. They want it to be able to hold the bulletin board so they can put the information without it getting wet and ruined. They wanted enough space for about 4-ish information sheets, which they could put in there. A roof, which it can cover the sign to reduce water going on it. Not using concrete when digging it in, like trying to use just the dirt itself to actually dig it in. And possible like information box, which you can put like slips of information for the visitors to take with them when they're going on the beach and the walk. And map of Sandy Neck, possibly added to 1 or 2 of these. I've heard that's at least 1, possibly 2, depending on what you guys would like. And what else you guys would like on it. This is my proposal. So, like I said before, kind of similar to the other design. It's a bit bigger, 6 foot by 3 foot frame. Allow the bulletin board to be in the space, which can hold about 4 signs. We proposed the idea of clipboards, but I think Hannah kind of pushed that away. We'll use a flat overhang roof instead of a triangle, instead of you guys would like otherwise, because it would be a bit simpler to make and it would still work just as fine. And like I said before, a possible side pamphlet order. Is there anything else you guys think you might want? This is kind of a rough sketch I made of the like the front, side, and top. I'll let you guys take a look for a second if you'd like.
I will chime in real quick.
Is that 4 feet in the ground?
Oh yeah, 4 feet in the ground.
The 6 foot by 3 foot is actually the space you can hang stuff in. So that enclosed metal, plexiglass is about 3 foot by 2 foot, and then the 4 information things were in addition to that. So it was the big metal case plus more space, and it was because the information overload with signs all over the place trying to consolidate it. So I just want to chime in on that, just a clarification. Oh, sorry.
These are kind of some spots I've been told that they would probably want. So 2 is a definite replacing the current one that's already there. 1, there's kind of a small path there, which Hannah said she would like one there. And then if you guys would like a 3rd spot, that would be, we have to figure out a spot, and if you guys would want a 3rd one.
It's an interesting question. I mean, I would have guessed there'd be one up at the top of the hill, as opposed to 2 so close together.
Well, and the reason being, because we had discussed this, the one that's over at the parking lot where folks park to hike, it will also give them information if they have dogs.
That would make sense to me. It's 3 of them.
Yeah, the 3rd one would probably go up further. That one's a little bit close. So you're going to have one right at the Marsh Trail. And of course, this will be great because we can change out the information that we need to disseminate to the public. But the one up in the parking lot is really good because the other part of it would say there would be no parking to walk to the beach. This is for the Marsh Trail only, with a map of the trail, because that gets people confused. And then I would say up right by the beach, as you get to the top there.
Because you have one
probably
on the
the-
gatehouse already. There'll be one on the gatehouse.
Right.
But you need something at the top of the hill.
Right, we do, yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Yeah, I think that 3 he just dropped there.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
like,
Right.
I don't think that was
Yeah.
actually.
Right.
I didn't actually put it as an actual
was
location.
Before you build it.
Yeah,
I just
yeah,
wanted-
exactly.
Would it be up by the overlook up there, close to the...
Yeah, that would be a really good spot for it, right there.
Yep.
Yeah.
One more question. With the new layout of entrance and check and everything that's going to be coming along in the next couple of years, I think. Will these just get dug up, pulled, uprooted, and reposted?
That's why
Yeah.
we're not concreting them in too.
Oh, good point.
Okay,
Yes.
so they would be able to be moved as we move.
Yeah, yeah.
This is the material list. So the posts, which are the ones going up for the sides, kind of like $38 for if we did two, actually for one. These are some rough prices. For the roof, it would be about like 15-ish bucks. Also, it would be about 18 for the kind of like the frame around it. About 56 for the like the back of the so we could actually hold it, like it would stay together.
We had discussed doing like deck boards or just pressure treated plywood, so 3/4 inch thick or something like that, but the deck boards seem to look a little nicer.
I like the sound
I
of
like that,
deck boards,
yeah.
yeah.
We already have a lot of deck screws, so I don't think we need to get any.
Forever, yeah.
Same thing
We
with the other deck
over-ordered,
screws.
Oh.
yeah.
Then the display case, you already have one, which I think we'll probably reuse. Then we might need to get 1 or 2 more, which would be about 170 each. Then the clipboards, if that were an option, it would be about 5. But I don't think that was really in the question. It would be about $380 for each.
I think Hannah had mentioned using plastic ones instead, obviously more durable. So
The 4x4 posts are pressure treated?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, it would be pressure treated.
And I think depending on the size of these, maybe even go to a 6x6. If you're going to do a 8-foot long or something like that, just support the weight a little bit.
Yeah, with the wind out there.
Yeah,
We're
gonna
gonna
say,
force these rules.
wind definitely is a factor.
But that 10 feet, so how many feet is that going to be in the ground?
So it would be about 4 feet in the ground and about 6 above ground.
Yeah, that's pretty sturdy, even in a good wind.
Yeah.
Anything else? So these are some general supplies and tools I would probably need. Kind of power cords so you can charge, safety goggles, gloves. A lot of this stuff is pretty obvious. Hearing protection, foods, drinks for all the workers that are coming there. Sawhorses, a circular saw, the kind of like, so you can actually cut. Measuring tape so you get all your measurements correct. Pen, paper to write all the stuff down. Screwdrivers, screw them in. Level, make sure it's all level. Carpenter square to make sure it's like actually like 90 degrees. And shovels and a postal digger so you can actually get them in the ground.
What kind of support do you request from them on Sandy Neck? So we can provide all this, right?
Yeah, we can provide.
So we need a workspace, right?
Mm-hmm. Need somewhere where we would be able to work and build these. Yeah.
Great, well, generally, you guys do your projects over by the garage. Hopefully, it's not raining, so you can be, in that general area, but we would certainly welcome that.
I sort of have just an interesting question. How hard is it to dig 4 feet deep in sand? Oh, okay, it doesn't all cave in?
Use a post hole digger.
Yeah, post hole
It's been pretty successful.
Yeah, post hole digger is probably not going to work too well. It will
But it's
cave
8
in.
feet wide.
Post hole digger, you think of going straight down, but what'll happen is it'll keep falling in. So regular shovel is probably all you need.
Yep.
You'll just end up being a lot wider, and you just
Exactly.
throw it back.
Dirt and
Around it.
sand in.
It'll go very quickly, though, to answer your question.
Yeah.
Anything else?
Insect spray, you want to add on that.
Especially if it's greenhouse.
And the gnats are out already.
Oh, that later after this. Yeah, what were you saying?
No, go ahead. I wasn't sure. if you had-
Logistics plan. So we would deliver the lumber so we could actually work. Would order the bulletin boards, get them to Sandy Neck. Myself and like family and friends will provide the tools, and to actually get the workers there, we will have their parents or another parent drive them over there. Safety plan. Wear safety equipment is so you don't actually like maybe like get something in your eye, hurt your ears. Don't like goof around if you're near the tools like the saw. Yeah. Make sure there's always supervision. So like somebody's watching, like myself or one of the adults or one of the older scouts. Make sure there aren't anything getting in the way that might cause you to hurt yourself. If you like misstep on it and it makes you trip. And have older scouts use some of the more like advanced tools, maybe like power saws or maybe the adults use
The
that.
adults
Yeah.
use the saws. So.
Yep. Yeah. Anything? So the costs. So it'll be about $380 per kiosk. If we added the price together, it'd be about $1,130. And if we reuse the bulletin board, which we most likely are, that would be about $960. And adding the pamphlets on, that would add about 43 each, and it'll be about up to $1,090 for the costs. Projected timeline. So around mid-June, I'm going to try and get my project approved. Then I'll start getting my project in late June and start finishing it up in late July with all like the sizes, things like that. Or just like finish up, yeah. Then for about hours and planning about like 40-ish, maybe a bit more hours. Same thing with building it. Probably spend a good amount, the amount of people there and the hours we spend on it. Then installation, probably have like 5-6 scouts trying to install it, and that'll all add up to 10 to 20 hours. And, next step, so we get my project approval, make sure I can do it. I'll make sure I have all the purchase things on the list correct and that we're getting all the right stuff. And get all the lumber, get all the workers who are working in different days, make sure we have enough. We'll build and install the kiosks, and then I'll finish my project. The end.
Good worker you got there.
Yeah. So one thing we do, I think it's a tradition of previous projects is to come back after you're done and tell us, A, how did it go, B, what did you learn doing it, what would you have done differently, how did it impact you. I think it's a good practice to continue, so add that to your list of to-dos at the end. But, anybody have any questions? How's this being funded? Did I miss that part?
That was going to be my question.
Banker
I was
helped
going to
us
say,
there.
put it right there.
Key thing to put in your presentation.
Yep.
So how's it going to be? You need a grant, you need $1,000 to do this.
So for funding, I'll either I'll do some like what is it called, fundraising, or if Sandy Neck might be able to provide me with the funds if they're able to. But if not, I'll be able to do fundraising and get enough scouts for that.
We're doing what in 2 weekends?
I don't know.
Car wash. Car wash, if you want to come over to Party Freeze,
Was that where you gonna
Oh,
go?
that's a good start.
Saturday, June 21st.
Where's it going to be?
Party
Party
Freeze.
Freeze, Stevenson.
With me.
Publicize it.
Yep, yep.
Yeah.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah, so it'll be we'll be doing a car wash at Party Freeze on 2 weeks.
Yep.
Let's see.
Let me get the date right, sorry. Saturday, June 22nd.
So yeah, June 22nd we'll be having the car wash.
10 to 2. 10 to 2.
Car show. I do believe that's,
No.
Father's Day.
Father's
Yeah,
Day is next.
Father's Day. So that's next,
the car show,
next
right?
weekend.
Father's Day is this Sunday, right?
Yeah, right, right.
Boy, a lot of people at that.
Well, Greyson, why don't you do some fundraising, and then you can contact me, and we'll talk about what Sandy Neck can provide as well.
Yep.
All right?
So let us know any other questions about the project. I mean, it's an ambitious project. I think it's got a level of complexity to it that should be interesting.
Well, just to follow up to what you're saying, and maybe we're announcing that we accept donations, to Sandy Neck for projects like this. And I don't know, who would they contact, you or Don or?
Yeah, one of us.
One of us.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Would be great.
Do you know what size
I'll
you're
bring my truck over and get it washed, for sure.
What size is it?
$1,000 tip, right?
Okay, all right. It's a good project. I mean, I think it's got, like I said, some complexity to it. And I think, again, as most of these projects are, they provide a useful solution to some needs out there, so that's great. So we'll wish you the best of luck. And we'll,
I actually have a question myself. Do you guys know like what exact like general size you guys would like if you
we don't have a clue in the board. I think you have to rely on Nina and Donna and Hannah to really guide you
I
in
can get
that.
that to you, because we basically know what we already have for the smaller ones, but we want to expand a little bit, so I'll get you some measurements and stuff.
Yep.
And I do have an email contact, so we can go ahead and do that for you, okay?
Yep.
So what are some examples of things that we'll have in those kiosks? Would it be flora, fauna type?
There's all kinds of great things. Informational for the general public that's coming to visit the Cape. One of the things would be tick information, very important. The other thing is where, it was where the dogs can go, because Sandy Neck is a dog-inclusive beach, so we have to make sure we guide people to the right place. The map he's talking about, we're probably going to have one printed really, really nicely. And this way they can see the Great Marsh, which is one of the highlights of Sandy Neck.
Yeah.
It's magnificent. So those types of information, plus our monthly newsletter will be in there. It's to keep it
Tide
current.
tables.
Tide table, all kinds of things, flora and fauna. Our walks and talks
Yeah.
would be a great place to put that in the kiosk, saying this is what we've got coming up for the season, and come on down and take this. So as much information as possible. We're also talking about doing some QR codes, so you can really pack a lot of information on a QR code, and they just put their little camera up there. And that way they can go right to our website. They can see other things that we're doing. So we're going to just try to get the public as much information as possible. And this is, I think, the best way to do it. It really is.
Sounds good.
And where to buy beach gear.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Okay, I would just suggest we accept or agree that we support this. I think it's unanimous. Anybody have any objections to that? So the board definitely supports the project.
I'll
I don't
make a
think.
motion that we accept it
Yeah.
as presented.
Okay.
And I'll second.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Okay, it's carried. So now it's up to you.
They did the easy part, yeah.
We did the easy part. No digging.
That was
No, good luck. Good luck with it, and I hope everything works out. Thanks so much for
Thank you.
bringing these projects to us. Appreciate it.
You want to stay?
You can stay if you want. It's just,
He's got a final in the morning.
oh, okay. Hopefully not with him grading it. No, just-
You get your gizmo on the computer.
Yes.
Good luck on your final.
Thank you very much. Appreciate it.
Your gizmo.
Thank you.
Okay, so a couple things, notes from the chair here. I realized I forgot to read this thing about meetings being recorded. Is anybody recording this meeting? Please let me know. No? Thank you. Just a couple things. I sent you all a note on conflict of interest training, our favorite discussion subject. Just easier for me if I put it in writing. So that's you just need some time. Most of us I'm due in August, and there's a couple of you due in September. So I know Maureen's already responded. So that's great, but get that done. And I'm assuming again that Pete and Renee are covered under their Concom and Recom. So it's just 5 of us that need to. And you'll need to do it. In theory, you're supposed to do it 30 days after you are appointed. So,
Well, I did.
Yeah.
The day I.
they gave you the booklet, but you didn't take the test.
I did the.
Oh, did you? So you
I
ever?
signed something.
Yeah, I don't think that's the test. I think you have to go online. Use that link. The link I gave you has one link is the booklet that you received it, and then the other is you have to answer questions and get a certificate. So you need to do that, and then send it to me when you get it so I can.
Thought I was all done.
No,
My name and everything.
Easy, huh?
not quite. It's not that. It's more than just signing your names.
Pint of blood.
Rich, that means you just got sworn in. Now you need to take the conflict of interest test.
Yeah.
And don't fail it.
Yeah. Otherwise,
How much do I have to owe you now?
All right. The other thing is, we're supposed to have elections in July. I don't know how exactly that's going to work. Maybe, Chris, you know, because I'm up for reappointment. I have heard nothing from the Appointments Committee yet, so I'm assuming you guys, I know you guys are backed up with a lot of stuff. So the way it works is you stay in your position until, a decision's made. So I'm not sure if we should have elections or we should wait since But I was thinking about it. My gut feel is just go ahead and have the elections. And worst case, if I don't get reappointed, then you guys can fight it out afterwards. But so we should do that. We should have that on the agenda for July, I
I
think.
think you could have it on the agenda, and then you can always defer it to August if things are still confusing.
Yeah, that'd be better than what we did last time, which was forget about it until December. So
It's
Yeah, we got to keep
Whoops.
it on there.
my bad. Okay, correspondence? Anything? No? Okay, then staff report, please.
Okay, a little bit of a dense staff report. Tis the season for those of us who are in the beach business. So just starting out, currently we have 0.5 miles of beach open, as you know, because I email you all every time there's a change. I'm going to get into a Plover report at the end to explain how we got here. This is the bad news and the good news. The good news is that's it. As far as I can tell, that's the most closed we're going to be from here on. It's just opening up. So that's kind of nice to know that we're positive from here on in. Cottage owners are using Trail 1 or an escort. Day trippers we're asking day trippers to park headlights towards the dune. There's a delegated day tripper area and a delegated camper area. Camper sites are delineated via cones. We're giving them 26 feet. We want to get as many people in there as safely as possible, knowing that we're heading towards the 4th of July, which is when the beach is generally its smallest and most popular. Gatehouse hours are 8 a.m. to 9 p.m. We have a great staff this year, friendly, helpful. And our ORV beach is open 8 a.m. to 10 p.m. Campfires allowed, weather permitting. Speed limit 5 miles an hour. All right, Donna, how do I forward this thing?
See on the left-hand side?
Uh-huh. Thank you. Up and coming events, we on the 13th, which I feel like is very soon, maybe this week even.
It is.
In search of Diamondback Terrapins, 10 to noon. I believe that's a Mass Audubon one. Yep, so they'll be leading that. We have a Plover Walk on the 18th, which is Sandy Neck led. Flora and Fauna, I'm going to take that this year. I love doing my Flora and Fauna. On the 25th of June, 10 to noon, we have ORV 101 for beginners, open to all. It doesn't just have to be the ladies this time. So anybody who's interested should register at the gatehouse or give us an email at sandyneck@town.barnstable.ma.us. And then Junior Rangers starts in July. So right now, people, if they're interested, need to get on the roster for that. And that's through the rec department. It's ages 9 to 12. And we have been doing it so long, some of our Junior Rangers are working for us now, which is absolutely delightful.
Is there a limit to how many junior rangers you take on?
There is a limit that's done through the rec department. So
I believe, Chris, it's 12.
I believe it's 12 too. And I believe that they have financial help for folks that might need it. All right, so very, very busy time of year for us. This is where we have all our seasonals are now on out of college, and this is when we do our pretty intense training for the month of June, preparing for the 4th of July. So today we had a Barnstable Fire Department Cottage Colony fire drill, which is multiple agencies involved. We had really kind of everyone, all the way from Dennis, Yarmouth. County is trying to get more involved, and they had their incident command post, which was really cool. And they put out a fire at the cottage colony. Of course, our staff was involved. We have endangered species everywhere. We would be involved with any rescue or fire out there because we know the lay of the land. We have a West Barnstable Fire Department drill. Again, multiple agencies involved. The county is this is the first year the county's going to get involved and have their incident command in our parking lot. So any sort of major issue at Sandy Neck involves multiple agencies. Communication is always a bugaboo, and location. So we're going to create a drill where we can get units that are searching from the water and from the land, and try to sort through some of the issues that we may have in real life when these issues occur, which is going to happen. It's when it's going to happen, not if it's going to happen for Sandy Neck. Many of our staff members have police training with Lieutenant Riley, who's amazing. He does scene safety, de-escalation, and a number of other topics that he works on with our staff. We have CPR AED stop the bleed training through the West Barnstable Fire Department. And then our weekly staff meetings, we often have Officer Kelsey's there a lot of times, which he's great to debrief with if we have an incident. But we'll also have Lieutenant Silver from the West Barnstable Fire Department's going to come in, go through a medic bag. We have people rotating in and out depending on when they're available.
I was going to add on the cottage colony fire drill, there were probably 40 people out there. There was a lot of people, a lot of boats, probably 10 boats. The fireboat from Sandwich was there too.
Everybody was there.
Yeah.
I will tell you, if we had a fire, that's about what you would expect at this point.
Really?
Is that many agencies? Yeah. It's becoming more and more of a team effort to deal with these complicated issues.
It was very impressive.
Good.
The grandchildren loved it.
I'm sure. Carrying on with Sandy Neck safety, one of our full-time staff members has obtained an open water lifeguard certification. 2 additional full-time staff members will be attaining lifeguard training. Our jet ski is operational. We do not have lifeguards again this year, so that's why we put all this extra effort into water safety. So our jet ski is operational. It has the rescue board off the back, and we deployed that, or we put her on the beach this weekend, so she was available for rescue. NRO Lupino is EMT trained, just waiting for one final test to get her certified. And the PD truck is stationed at the gatehouse, which it is every year. It's aired down, so we have presence, like people don't know if there's really a police officer around or not. That's helpful, and also it's ready to roll if we need to.
So on the lifeguards, was it close? Did we almost have lifeguards? No, it's the
It was
same as
worse,
the
worse
previous
this year than
years.
last year.
Really?
Yep.
That's too bad.
We are deep into Head Start Terrapin releases. So we had 28 schools and organizations with a total of 36 turtles. Most organizations got one turtle. Pete is nodding because he released his turtle already. He didn't need any help. He knew what he was doing. But a lot of them, where they have the little kids, like up here, this is Owen Tipker.
Tupker.
Yeah, he's up here. Tipker, I think. I think it's
Is
Tip.
Tupker, yeah.
Yeah. So here he is around one of these pools in the salt marsh with these youngsters. Then he's got a turtle in his hand, and everybody. I think this one was Bubbles. We've released a lot of turtles. Donna, help me out. Which school is this?
Gosh.
Oak Ridge. I'm not sure. There's some sandwich
Is that-
schools.
They have little turtle shirts on?
Yeah, little turtle
Yeah,
shirts.
yeah.
Maybe
Oak Ridge.
perhaps Oak Ridge.
Yeah.
So this is kind of the vibe going on. It's like one after the other. We've got these big groups, school buses pulling up, kids coming out, too excited to talk to, just losing their mind, excited about releasing the turtle.
So when I was out there on Friday, I came across 3 females walking across the trail, and there were turtle tracks everywhere.
Yeah.
Oh, my
They're
Lord.
busting out all over.
Yeah.
It's been great though, because when they're releasing the
Yeah,
terrapins,
they're seeing them. They're seeing adults
they're
in the
seeing,
ponds.
and right, and they're
and
seeing,
juveniles.
and the babies
Are
that
emerging.
Are emerging.
Oh,
So they're
yeah.
having a great
I
time.
didn't see any babies that day.
Yeah.
But
We
Oh my
did
gosh.
6 turtle releases last week in one day.
yeah.
It was
Oh,
intense.
It was a little
It
much.
was a little much.
So here is Antonia Mancha, our full-time NRO, and again, Owen, the rock star, seasonal natural resource officer. And what we're doing here, this is a turtle right here, and they're actually pit tagging it. So just like you put in your pet's neck a little tag where you can wand it, and you can have it associated with a number, which is then associated with a turtle. So we're pit tagging these guys this year, which we've done before. So that has been super fun. Any questions about that before I get into plovers, which
Where
are
do they-
also
where do they-
banging?
Where do they migrate to?
The turtles?
The turtles, yeah.
They stay
They
there.
stay
They stay?
in our
They
marsh.
don't go all the way down to
Never.
where
That
the
makes
warm
sense
weather
then, you
is?
didn't know
No.
that.
They go very slowly. You know turtles, right? And they don't have flippers.
Yeah, but they,
They're not
So these
Sea
are-
turtles,
these are
these are
local
not
turtles.
Terror
That's
would give you the
very
hint.
hard.
And they got feet.
No
They have
current.
feet. Right,
They
right.
can't float with the current. Okay.
No, these are sandy neck turtles. They
These are,
stay there.
these, so backing up, when you have a group of youngsters such as this, and they have raised a turtle all winter, and they've named their turtle, and they've learned about turtle ecology, and then they come out and they plop the turtle into the great marsh, where it's gonna live for 25, 30 years.
Wow.
And, hibernate in the marsh and then come up and lay the eggs year after year. That child is then invested in that marsh. So they're not only learning about ecology, they're learning about environmental protection. And that's the whole circle of life thing that we're trying to
You
teach
know,
these
that
youngsters.
life cycle would be perfect for the kiosk.
There you go.
Quick question. Are any of these tags that we put on such that they pop up and give you a location like a GPS?
No.
Okay.
That would need an energy source. So, yeah, when you do that, like on an owl, some of our owls have been radio tracked, and then certainly some of the sea turtles that migrate have those. They only last so long, and then they fall off.
Okay.
All right, habitat conservation plan. So this is our crazy habitat conservation. I hope you guys are seeing this. So this year we have all our pallets. And then this could still be plover habitat in here. We rake, like we get every hunk of seaweed because they love that seaweed. So all of this has been hand raked And then all of this flags here, this is Hannah's latest invention, is these flags.
It's like party time.
Yeah,
And then we're
Here's
raking,
Eve for plovers.
and then we're raking. You can also see that we've set this up so that these off-roaders, when they come in, here's the bathhouse right here and the access trail, we're forcing them to drive right up in that habitat. You know, it's, if we didn't have the signage pushing them up against the dune, you know, humans will go to the path of least resistance and they'd be driving lower. But we got them up here, also trying to deter the plovers. So it's been very successful this year.
quarter mile,
This is what it looks like.
is it still a quarter mile?
Half of them.
No, half mile.
Don't read your
Okay.
emails.
0.5 is a half a mile.
Oh, okay.
Do you
So-
mean the beach closed, or do you mean the
No,
HCP?
yeah, the HCP.
The HCP right now is a half a mile. We're actively pushing plovers away.
Yeah.
So
So just a shout out to Steve Heaslip, who did that shot by drone for us, and he sent us that, yeah, which I thought was great. We kind of wanted to see what the carnival looked like from here, yeah, so he did a good job, yeah.
All right, so what I want to show you, we have 65 nests and counting.
Wow.
So what I want you to see is how clearly we are manipulating. This is our HCP
Huh.
from here to here. That's
We got
all,
one around the front beach.
where?
Well, that's the left balloon.
Oh, that's right at the town line. Oh, there is
got it,
every
right,
year.
okay.
Yeah, we don't have an HCP in this
Right,
location.
exactly.
Our HCP is from here to here,
Okay.
where we're allowed to deter 3 pairs. We only deterred this pair and this pair this year. But you can actually see, right, that we are manipulating the situation here. Otherwise, there'd be plovers crawling all over the place. So as you move down the beach, I'm going to get into this a little tighter, but I want to just show you here. This is the super eroded piece of the beach. Has anybody seen that between 4 and 5? There's no beach there. So right now we have, red means it's been predated. Right now we have a number of nests in that location. My concern is that these are going to end up in the dune, which is what they've done in the past, because there's no habitat there. So moving in a little closer, again, this is our HCP. It's from the corner of the parking lot, and we actively deterred right up to here. So trail 1, trail 2. This is crazy. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 nests before trail 2, plus turns. So this,
Turns too?
Really?
we always have turns in here. The turns are at 0.9, which is right here. They've been there for 15 years.
Pete, you'd be interested, we're seeing some different behavior here. We're seeing plovers are territorial, right? We've talked about this. They're on top of each other.
They're on top of each
On top
other.
of each other
They're
because the
literally-
habitat is going away.
Yeah.
So now we're seeing them, like Nina said, boom, 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 right down the row. Never saw that before. Interesting stuff.
Do the terns eat the plover eggs? Are they
No.
scavengers in that way? No.
No, they're piscivores.
The predation, is that crows or coyotes or,
In this one, I don't think we know which one was.
well, all the red balloons that you had?
There was a lot of crow activity in that area, so there's
Yeah.
a possibility. But if you don't see it,
Or seagulls. I've seen the seagulls, you know, when you
Like
used to have
seagulls
this,
all over it.
the enclosures, they would jump up and down on top of the enclosure to scare them out of it.
wow,
Yep.
smart.
So I usually, and you know, this is way too soon to do bubbles of when these things, a lot of these are chicks already. It's way too soon for me to do bubbles like, by this date, this is gonna fly, like, who knows what's gonna happen here? We could lose some of these nests and they re-nest. So I just want to show you that we have 0.5 miles of beach. That's from this point to here. These guys, I wasn't there today, I probably hatched today. They'll likely move a little bit this way and we'll be able to push this line a little bit, but we're really kind of going to be hovering around this closure for a little bit until all these birds move east. So maybe by July, I'll be able to give you a little bit more of an idea of what might happen, but right now, there's just so many birds. You know, it used to be I could be like, well, there's 2 nests between here and Trail 2, and here's the dates they're due, and here's the dates they'll fledge, but there's 8 nests. And this guy right here hasn't even re-nested, or at least, well, I don't know if they did today, but so it restarts the clock. So the good news is the HCP is working. The good news is that plovers are doing very well on Sandy Neck, but it does mean reduced beach. The beach is very, very wide, so we'll be able to get quite a bit of patrons in there. We'll do our best. We had a full beach, 4.5 miles for Memorial Day weekend. It was gorgeous. Low tide, midday, and there was no restrictions, no like, here's where you have to park. Everybody had a great time. We didn't have any issues. The following weekend, we were at 1.7, which is still plenty of beach. And then this last weekend, on Saturday, we were at 0.9, which was still plenty of beach. And then Sunday morning, we had to go to 0.5, which was, we didn't even remotely come near
Not even
filling
close.
up.
Not even close.
We will use the push notification when we fill in July, which will likely happen, particularly on big tide days. And we'll have the reservation system for the campers, so they'll know if they have a spot or not. And with that, I'll take any questions.
What do the turns look like down on Little Neck?
We have common terns this year,
Oh,
and we have oyster catchers this year. It's like somebody went on the internet to all these birds and was like, "Ring, ring, come here."
well, we have flamingos too.
We have flamingos too. There are terns everywhere past the, so we historically have had terns at like 0.9, which is in this, do I still have it? That's kind of in this cluster right here.
Yeah.
Not a very big tern colony. We have a tern colony between 2 and 4 historically, which is setting up again. We have a ton of terns that we're really struggling with getting cottage owners past between 5 and 6. It's very difficult out there. And then it's nothing but terns past the closure line. So terns, there's a lot of terns, but they don't do well, and that's the issue. So they don't reproduce. Their productivity rates are very low, so.
Are there a lot of plovers out at Little Neck?
Little Neck is a bonanza. I mean, you can't even, it's insane. You can't even,
65 nests, try to picture. It's insane.
you can't
You
even.
can't even.
Is this happening elsewhere
Yeah.
on Cape Cod? So everybody's experiencing the same
Well,
growth?
some areas are eroding and they're losing habitat and they're pushing birds to other areas, but I also manage douses, and that has 2 to 3 nests this year, which has never happened. We had a bird show up at Forts Beach. I know that Duxbury is really struggling with the amount of birds they have. They're, usually, I've been doing this for 21 years, and I'm usually managing 35 to like 45 at most plovers, and we're already at 65. Wow. So it's like the numbers have always kind of been going up, and we're like in this like weird whoop, straight up thing going on right now, because last year was 57, it was the most we'd ever had, and the year before that was 50, and it was the most we'd ever had. And now we're at 65.
Is there a target range that they're looking for as far as to, that it's a successful endeavor to, repopulate them?
Repopulate them? Yeah. I mean,
I'm
they
sorry.
used to have targets, but they keep, the line keeps changing. The problem is Massachusetts does really well with our recovery plan, and a lot of other states haven't done well. And since it's so it's not just a state-listed animal, it's the whole, it's the whole population. So do I think it's going to get off the list in my tenure? But I think that what we're seeing is that the state is recognizing that beaches
we're doing.
such as Sandy Neck is doing a really good job, and they need to throw us some bones.
Yeah.
Because as managers, we're getting squeezed from all sides. And so that's the HCP, which you can, like this picture, you can see it. But, when I started the HCP, we had, 40, 45 pairs. Now we have 65 pairs, and it took like 4 years to get the HCP. So those changes and those small flexibilities that they're giving us are very slow coming, whereas this population is changing very quickly. So they're not growing at the same time. We are in negotiations for the next HCP round, and I know that my colleagues and I are trying to come up with more creative ways, like this deterrence worked. When we first started talking about deterrence, nobody knew if it was going to work. And it worked in this case, so we're trying to come up with other strategies that won't harm the birds, but maybe will help a little bit. But it is very challenging. Yep. I think we might be I know Nauset's closed. I really haven't gone through the roster.
Nauset's closed, Duxbury is closed mostly.
Yeah.
We're getting a lot of calls from folks wanting permits from these other beaches. A lot of people have given up on Nauset at all, and they're just coming to Sandy Neck, which again, great, not so good. It's one of those things where, if you look, and just to give Nina a kudos here, that HCP, every square inch of it was fighting to get people on our beach. And it worked, and I don't even know how it did, but it's round the clock. We did a ballpark, Hannah and I did a ballpark estimate of what it costs us to do that HCP, $50,000 at least.
Wow.
So, for half a mile. So it's a lot of man hours, it's a lot of creative ways. What do we want to do? And we sit around the table and go, let's try this, let's try that. So, yeah, we're very lucky.
What's interesting is that is a great illustration of just how successful you are.
Yeah,
That says it all,
yeah.
But
But it doesn't mean every
This
year it's
year.
going to work, right? We both say that same time.
I'm here doing this because I'm like,
Yeah,
we did it.
Yeah.
Like, I feel pretty confident
yeah.
that this, I say we're going to have at least 0.5 miles of beach, but for 2 months I've been losing my mind trying to work. Every time a bird flies in there, we're all like, whoa.
I think it's a Herculean effort, to be
And-
honest
It
with you.
is.
But the thing that
I don't
I
think it's
see
gonna-
for the most part is very few people know that, even though.
That's it.
You know what I mean? Or even convincing people.
I
And
think it helps that you have all this stuff
I think it's great.
flying
No,
in the
I
air.
explain it all the time, and I think that, kudos to you guys.
But let me go back to our best advocates now, Massachusetts Beach Buggy Association, who has worked hand in hand with us,
Right.
who has maybe in the beginning didn't think or thought like the rest of the public did. They're hugely, just like, these guys are doing everything that they can. Every time they hear something negative, they say, you have no idea how
Right.
hard this is.
Correct.
So, I can't say enough about the partnership. I cannot, because
Yeah.
it's really, it's proven itself. It really has. Because, some people drive by and think we are having a carnival, but these guys actually laid these
Yeah, right.
things, helped us with all this, got the pallets, delivered them, on their own time. And so they see it's working, and they see the effort that everybody's putting into it. So the more people that see it, the better off we are.
Well, again, I go back to that void that is there,
Right.
along with what you've got there, needs to be out for people to see.
I know. I'm trying to get before the town council to talk about this. I want to, because I don't even, nobody
Publicity?
knows.
Like, how do you
No.
get publicity?
I mean,
Like,
Well,
how do you
usually-
get front page of Cape Cod Times with a split
well,
picture of
that's a
that
Cape
and the
Cod
other
Times
one?
picture.
Yeah, but not from him, from Steve, but was it in the Times?
No, I asked him
Oh,
to,
yeah, yeah,
I
yeah.
asked him if he wouldn't mind, I've got a great video too, asked him if he wouldn't mind, because we kind of wanted to see it
Yeah.
from above.
Yeah.
And he, you know, gets to fly his little plane, sure, he's gonna go out there and check it out. But maybe we could get the Cape Cod Times, maybe
Yeah.
that's not a bad idea.
Yeah.
But
Do something
Are
on
we
prisons.
cursing it, though, if we do that?
No, I don't know. You've had
I-
actually
I'm
quite a few years of success
I
in
know,
building
but
upon that.
It's
okay?
every year, though,
nature.
It's all right saying that nature will, but no, you know.
we start having nightmares in February,
Yeah,
and I'm
it's
not, there's no kidding. We
I'm
have
sure, because I know,
Clover nightmares,
believe me,
that
I
this
know
is gonna
how
fall
much
apart.
hassle you get, okay? Because I hear the hassle and I'm not even here.
So I don't go on Facebook and read any of it. So
I do.
I don't let people have that power over me.
No, but I
But from
only
what I
use on our social
understand
media.
is that, that people in the know chime up and are like, actually, you're wrong. And that, I think, carries a lot of
Not a
weight.
weight.
Yep, does.
I just take this picture and put it on the kiosks.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, your
Well,
HCP
you
at work.
You
Yeah, right.
have an
Tells the whole story,
information board
yeah.
at Trail One, right? Or
Yeah.
we had an information board at Trail One. I don't know how many people.
It's,
Well, trouble is the kiosks are really more aimed towards the beach front users than it is the ORV.
if you put it on Facebook, then the comments would go,
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah.
so.
How many plover nests are inland, not along the shore?
At Sandy Neck?
Yeah,
Inland?
yeah. Well, I'm
In the
saying
dunes?
inland in the dunes, yeah.
Yeah,
Behind the
so,
primary dunes.
so right, again, usually the second attempt, they'll go behind the dune. That's what worries me about, like this one.
Yeah,
I'm like hiking all up in here. So we have a bunch inland, if you will.
Yeah.
Out by the point. Everybody else is on the front beach right now. There's one a little bit inland right here.
if
But
they're,
when they get predated, they'll try another strategy, and that's when
Yeah.
they can end up in the.
because there's not enough room for them out front now.
Or they think that's where the crows are hitting them or whatever. So,
So if they go inland, can you have that section of the beach open? You know, perpendicular to where they
yeah,
are?
until
You-
they
you can.
nest. I mean, until they hatch, and then they're gonna come out onto the front beach, because that's where they
Yeah.
feed.
And then you'd have to close that area? Okay.
Okay, yeah, great job. I think
It really is.
it's good
Let's not curse
to
it.
do whatever you can to publicize it, so, you know, just reduce the noise.
How
and
how about
stuff.
T-shirts that say 65 plovers?
Oh,
That's
thank you for,
Yeah.
thank you for saying that. We have new merch, and I was gonna bring it for you, Rich, so you could hold it up next time. We have all kinds of beautiful merch, and we went with the Carhartt this year because apparently it's all the rage. And we have a bunch of Diamondback Terrapin art that one of our high school students did, and some fishbone art that another high school student did that's embroidered in. It says SNK Fishing. So it is the best Dad's Day present. If you need a Dad's Day present, come to the Gatehouse.
Some really cool designs, really, really good merch, yep.
Should publicize that, even maybe bring it to the meeting and recognize those students for what they've done, you know, so they,
The teacher actually came in today with a loss of words there, name, but he came in and, because we promised him a sampling of each of it, he just said, when these kids see this, they're going to give you artwork like you've never seen.
Good.
Because he got one of the hats and he got one of the T-shirts, and he ended up buying the hoodie tee with the fish bones
Yeah, the fish
on it
bones.
for himself. And he's like, this stuff is fantastic. So, yeah, you guys got to check it out. And I'm going to try to get this weekend, try to get some of the kids to model some of the stuff, and maybe I'll throw it up on Facebook.
Good.
even have them come in here and,
Do a
Talk.
fashion show?
well, yeah, talk to us about what they're doing, show us their designs. I mean, that kind of recognition goes a long way,
Yeah.
you know, to kind of keep the flow coming
Yeah.
and give them some some kudos for what they've done, so. Okay, let's move on. Old business, I'm just going to give you there's really not much new in terms of the project. Me and you chime in, but this is from a communication I had with Amber, just to kind of catch up. We've gotten the order of conditions from the Concom, so TIC, Historical Commission, which was conducting the archaeological review, is not needing to do any further investigation, which is good news, because that would have slowed us down probably at least 3 or 4 months. Project team's working on final designs, anticipating to complete the final design by the end of June. They're still working on the conservation plan with NHESP. I have no idea what that stands for, but Natural Heritage, there you go.
Species Program.
Yeah, right. And that's the spadefoot toad issue. They're still working on that. In terms of grants, we've talked about these. The NOAA grant for $1.3 million, anticipated sometime in the summer response. And the MVP funding request in the amount of $2.9 million also should be announced sometime this summer. So, and they're also planning to have a grant submitted to CZM as well. So not much new from last month. I'm sure there's lots of details going on behind the scenes, but in terms of macro picture, there's nothing much has changed, but we're still on track, and the funding is going to be the key issue right at the moment, I think. Permits seem to be falling into place, and funding is kind of the wild card right now, so.
We're going to do a car wash.
I mean, it's just going to, a couple things could happen. I mean, if you don't get the funding, we won't even talk about that. But it could come late, in which case it could affect the schedule, where we wouldn't be able to start this winter. So that's.
Are we able to make up any shortfalls in the funding by borrowing the money?
Well, I guess that's always a possibility, but I think, if we could avoid that, I think you heard Mark talk about that, and it seemed pretty clear to me that the town did not plan on putting any money into this. So, but I suppose if it's close,
I was thinking in the form of a loan.
Yeah, bond.
Yeah,
but
bond.
I don't know, Chris, if you have any point of view on that. But if we get to the point where it's a couple $100,000, I'm just making this up, that gets us over the hump, maybe we'd have more of a chance than if we're looking for $5 million. So I think it probably, I'll say without knowing, it depends, I guess. We'll see how it goes.
Well, certainly the bond that we carry right now for the bathhouse is covered by the enterprise account.
Right.
So we set up our annual operating budget around that figure. And so that is a strategy that we can take in the future for making up the shortfall, but we will have no idea what that is.
And that bond's coming.
That's not general fund, that is Sandy Neck funding.
That bond is coming due, isn't it?
That bond is almost,
Right.
we're going to ring a bell.
Yes, so that's an advantage. If that bond is paid off, then you potentially at least have the cash flow to cover more debt. So we'll just have to see as it goes. So that's the project. In terms of economic sustainability, I mean, just a fee discussion in September, remind me? September, right, okay. So I don't think there was anything else. Bill's not here, so we'll move on to new business. We did Greyson, and we talked last time about Halfway House, trying to get some more utilization out there, and maybe each of us trying to come up with a couple ideas. I'll start if you want, okay. So two things I'm pursuing. One is talking to the Cape Wildlife Center. The idea I had there was that they deal with all the animals coming in, that are mainly injured. And I was thinking it would be kind of interesting possibly for them to go spend some time out there as staff and actually see where the animals are living. So looking at their habitat. And so I'm talking, my wife volunteers there, so we're talking about that. And the other was Community Connections, which is a great organization. Actually, my band has done a couple of gigs for them. It's a very fulfilling. We've had more fun. Pretty severely disabled adults, and we had them getting up on the stage and wanting to sing, and so it was fantastic. It was really fun. But I was thinking that's another connection that, another organization that could really get some benefit. I don't know that they'd be sleepover candidates potentially, probably not, but certainly I think they'd get a lot of pleasure from So I know Dave Botting, who runs the thing, is a friend, so I'm going to talk to him about getting something organized there. So anyway, those are my two ideas. So I'm still working on it. Anybody else have any thoughts?
So, I just wanted to get some clarity. How many people, if you did an overnight, how many people could stay out there?
Kids or adults?
Either.
Well, that's a big difference.
Yeah.
That's a big difference.
Okay,
So kids, we've had 10, and I sleep on the floor. We get kids up in the loft, 2 or 3 up there. We can double up on a couple of those bunk tables. You're not going to fit more than that.
okay. So, one of the,
It's rustic, it's rustic.
yeah, it's very rustic. How about thinking in terms of day trips as opposed to nighttime? Second grade class or a fourth grade class or whatever going out for the day.
Yeah, well, that was the genesis of the discussion we had last time and Renee was kind of involved in that discussion about school kids and stuff, getting them, particularly schools that may be more, underserved typically in terms of their exposure to things like Sandy Neck, getting them to, and hopefully getting their parents involved as well, getting the kids out there to see this kind of a facility. I think the overnight thing is a secondary option. If you get a group of young kids that go out there three or four times and fall in love with it, maybe they want to go camping, but it's another order of magnitude of challenge to do camping. So, as Pete, I'm sure, could testify to. But a daytime is perfect. That's the main thing. So I think we should focus on that really. And
So a classroom size, 20, 25 kids, how would we get them out there? Is that something?
yeah, go ahead.
So depending on the age of the kids, one of the things that the kids would like best is if you got pickup trucks and they get to sit in the back. And I don't know if that's something that's allowable with a bunch of kids. Probably not.
But if it's a town
Not
vehicle.
little, exactly, not
Yeah,
littles.
We definitely do that with teenagers, but
Yeah, but not-
I'm
So no, we kids, it's brutal.
At the Historic Society had a history class, Barnstable High School, that came and visited the old jail and the blacksmith shop. And they had a busload. I think we initially scheduled 36 and 18 showed up. Now, granted, it was a rainy day, but, I gotta tell you, okay, yeah, look, that's a jail up there, that's a jail cell. Hey, did you see such and such? Yeah, the attention span was gone. You
You got to confiscate their phones. That's
yes, we know.
They were more
Yeah.
interested, believe it or not, in going to the blacksmith shop and see how they made stuff. So it's like, yeah. But if you could get and the genesis for the whole thing was, we do a fifth grade thing with the school, all right? They go to the Historic, they go to Sturgis, and they go to Tales of Cape Cod. And it's a 2.5 day type of situation. And they're fifth graders, all right? So with the high schools, you'd think that it would be a little more focused, but, wasn't the case.
I think there's different challenges with
There
different
really-
ages, and there's challenges with high schoolers as
Yeah.
well. And I do really feel like we do a lot of outreach with the Terrapin program.
Yeah.
With,
Oh, yeah.
And I manage the rest of the natural resources. We do all those critters, those stuffies
Yeah,
that we
yeah,
have.
yeah.
And those things are everywhere. They're at Unity Day, they're at the street
Yep.
closed day, they're like all over the place. And I find with youngsters, I can sometimes get the high schoolers, but youngsters, I can get them engaged with like track and like being out in there. Let's go explore, let's find stuff together. I feel like we do a lot of that as well.
Yeah.
And the halfway house maybe isn't that.
Yeah, right.
But it did work for the kids from the high school who have a focus,
Yeah.
Yeah.
that they were artists.
Right.
So if the high
That was
school
a
kids
good choice for
right,
art.
have a focus, maybe some of the younger kids take them out for the day and say,
Right.
here,
Yeah.
do your artwork, that type of thing. That's the type of thing. If there's a photography class in any of the schools, excellent idea with that.
Yep.
So that's a way to start bringing those groups in. And it is a better plan, honestly, to do day trips instead of
Yeah,
the overnights.
yeah.
The overnight is more of the Pete Sampu kind of thing when he's
Rough-
cleaning
rough.
up the roughing it and stuff. And there's not often, we've tried with the, some of the other places that they've said, yep, we're going to spend the night, and they go, we're really not. So they like the day trips.
Yeah.
But I could see more of the photographers, I could see more
Yeah.
of the kids coming out to do the artwork.
Yeah.
So this is an opening, and now especially where we've accepted some of their artwork and we're actually using it,
Yeah.
it's going to give them incentive to do more, right? So I'd like to see more of that stuff.
Would it make sense to send a letter to all the superintendent of schools throughout Cape Cod saying, we have this facility available,
Stop.
Yeah.
and, can you write a curriculum that, it may be
Sure.
photography, it may be art, it may be science, it may be environmental science, it may be geology, history, it might be all these different things
Right.
that the superintendent could determine a curriculum that would apply
Right.
and
You-
therefore have
Right.
an
And it's
interest.
a great idea. You have got to remember one thing. We do the transportation.
Well, that's why I was asking the
And
numbers.
that is critical because we have to schedule to not only drop off,
Mhm.
to pick up.
Yeah.
And we have to do it based on tides. Not only the scheduling of our staff, but also on the tides, because the high tides, we can't even get out there. So I would like to see it slowly start, and then if, we can see how it goes from there, to get more interest in the halfway house. I don't want, I think Nina's going to agree, we don't want superintendent of schools saying, I have 150 kids that are coming
Well,
next
yeah,
week.
you
You
could-
guys got that,
you
we
would be
can't do
able
it.
to-
I think we're looking for groups that are they're creating their own curriculum, they're creating
Right.
their own,
Right.
like, we're not running these programs.
no.
Because we have
Have enough.
already too much, and now we're also
Right.
taking on some additional outreach for environmental justice schools as related to our grant, and so we're maxed out on that.
So just like you do the junior programs through the rec department, how much involvement do you have with that? Or that the rec?
A lot.
A lot? Because you have the program, they're just doing the sign up?
Yep,
Is that basically what that is?
yep.
All right, so utilizing the rec department would not be good because you would still have to do the program. They would just do the signups for that. And have you, how about the Audubon Society?
Audubon definitely
They use it.
is what
I think,
we're
yeah.
talking about
yeah,
here. They
daytime
know
Audubon.
about it.
Yeah.
They certainly know about it.
Because I don't have any connection to them, but.
How many people can you transfer out there?
Transport?
To take out there, it depends on how much gear. Now, when we take the artists out there, they have a ton of gear. So we try to keep it down to 5, 6 at the max.
Right.
And that's most of them sitting in the back of the truck and with all their equipment, squashing it in there.
Yeah.
So it really does depend. Again, to take a staff member for an hour and a half away for a round trip each time.
Each time.
It's 3 hours, you're talking about, getting them out there. So we provide water out there, there's a portable toilet out there, there's wood out there for the fireplace, for the wood stove and all that. But, 5 or 6 max. I mean,
Okay.
that's really a maximum for us.
So that really sort of limits it, if that's all you can transport.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
I mean, if it were to grow exponentially, and then we dedicate like a vehicle to it or something, that's a different story, but we need to start slowly getting some interest into it. And I like the idea of Audubon, I like the idea of, photography, some of the other, art students and stuff.
Like
But,
a focus group, because
Yeah.
we already are providing all the things that Don is talking about. We're already providing all of that. We need self-sustenance, people like Pete, who are running their own show and doing their own curriculum and utilizing.
And
What we have to
upkeeping it,
offer.
keeping the raccoons from underneath it.
I'm a product of Mr. Dorr and Mr. Auger. So
Yeah.
That's
Crossroads
awesome.
School out on,
But it takes an individual
Yeah,
that's
that was
committed. It's a lot of
correct.
time.
correct.
Oh, yeah.
It was meant to be, I think, a
Yep.
side thought that came up last time that we're trying to turn to something that's a bit more focused. So, we all have contacts. We should use them. I think the parameters Donna talked about, so it needs to kind of be a small group, probably not overnight. And they need to have kind of a reason for going, basically, which is kind of, which this facility can fulfill. And, excuse me, so, I mean, keep your ears open. Let's keep it as an open topic.
Can I just ask one more
Yeah,
question?
sure.
What are the top 4 things that you would do out there? Art, okay, I understand that one, okay, then.
Doing ecology, marsh
Yeah.
ecology.
So there would have to be a curriculum or something, like,
Right.
what?
Yeah, you'd have to, and then, hiking.
A
certainly.
directed
So you
experience.
could use it as your base and actually hike further out and then back, have lunch or something, and then go out to the front beach and swim, and then, or something to that nature.
A lot of birds out there, bird watching.
The front beach is pretty far away.
Yeah, that'd be a long walk.
You can't just go as the crow flies.
No, you got to go down.
Be a long
So
walk.
that's another thing. It's, people like, oh, we're going to San Diego. Actually, no, it's like very much focused on
The
backward
marsh.
ecology, marsh.
You're still too far away from the shellfish
You are,
beds.
okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, you are.
Yeah.
I haven't been out there in like, I don't know,
I mean,
40
I've been
years.
talking to somebody about getting some writers out there,
Yeah.
Okay.
that type of thing. It's a place that you could be in a community, but also solitude. That's why the artists like it, that's why the photographers like it. And they'll go out there and they'll go off and do their own thing. So,
But they have to be a nonprofit, a
That is correct.
501c3,
all the
which makes it
information
difficult.
regarding the halfway house is on our website, the requirements. Okay, that's all on there. And it is, you're right, it has to be, that's a
Or
mandate of it.
nonprofit. I don't think a school's a 501c3. It's a nonprofit.
Right,
Yeah.
educational.
Yeah.
Yeah, the schools wouldn't be a problem. But if you say a writer, Henry Thoreau, going out there, you'd want him to go out there, right? And experience it and write about it.
But there's some writers' groups that are not, they're not for profit. It's an educational thing. So, education has to be a part of it. And if you go ahead.
Do they have to be a 501c?
No.
Technically, they do not.
Technically, They do not.
Oh, okay. So I misunderstood that.
That's a tax designation.
Nonprofit.
Or a
Not-for-profit.
school.
But you
So,
could have a group of people coming together and
Right.
say, this is for educational purposes, and you would accept that.
You need
I'm going to
insurance.
teach you writing class today.
Yeah, you would
Not
let them
charging
do
you.
that.
I think you need
Okay.
insurance.
You need that insurance underwriter.
No, it's a little more complicated.
Yeah, you just can't
You
get a
need
group of
It
people.
needs to be a group
Right.
that's not-for-profit group. Like all of these art groups are going out under Cape Cod Art Association. So they have the nonprofit umbrella. Those people maybe are writing for profit, but they're going through the umbrella of that organization. So,
That makes it a little tough. Katuitt Arts,
yeah,
there
Yeah,
might
that'd
might be one, they have the theater group, they have
Yeah.
the art
Yeah.
section to it, that they'd
I'd
love
see
to,
the,
they would
watching
love to
some
do that.
theater out there, yeah.
They would probably love to do
They
that.
probably would. But that's the type of things, you want, you just want people out there to enjoy it too. It's amazing. It's the best part of Sandy Neck. It really is. So keep your thinking caps on and, yeah.
We'll keep it as an active topic under our strategic areas here, and we'll, just anybody who has ideas, obviously bring them to Nina. And
It'd be
And
nice
Donna.
to have it used.
yeah, okay, let's move on. I think that's it.
It's used.
Anything, Wendy, you have anything you want to say since you are a sole public attendee tonight?
Yeah, we
give you-
lost half of 50%
Give
of
you the floor. Okay, I think we've ended the meeting.
Make a motion
Make a
to
motion.
adjourn.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye, thanks, everybody, appreciate you coming.